Hey, thanks for making time for me today. I hope you're having a good day so far. Yeah, I know you're going to be going to your big event next week, and the coordinators had given me a call as your personal assistant, and they needed me to verify some information and for your dress, for your makeup, things like that. And your measurements too, that's correct. And so I got with them, I got all the information that they need, and I was gonna just go over it with you, verify, and then we needed to do a trial makeup run to make sure that your makeup is gonna look exactly how you want it to look for the event. Okay. Right. So let me just write a couple of things down here. Yep. Yeah, so the first thing that they needed was the measurements. So they are obviously doing your custom dress for the event. And they asked me to just verify the measurements they were going through, and they were a little bit different than last year's, which is normal, but they wanted me to just check with you. Yes, so I thought we would start off with doing the measurements, and then I brought some materials here to go over with you for your makeup. We can browse looks. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I told you I was taking the day off, but they really need this urgently. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I need to just do a couple very, very general measurements. Okay, so just put your arms towards me. I know. But you know how they are. They like to check. I agree. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back this way. Okay. And then let me just get the other arm. Okay. I know, I did the same thing. Okay, and then across. Okay, perfect. Alright, and then just go ahead and set. I'm going to go across the diaphragm. And then I'm going to go across the shoulders, okay? Okay, and then the plunge neckline was next, so I'm just going to go from the top down. You tell me about where you're thinking for the neckline. About there? Up a little bit, okay. Right there. Okay. About a 6-inch neckline. That's what they have, I think. Alright. I'm just going to do this part here, the bottom, thigh. Just wrapping that around. Okay. And it's supposed to be kind of like a bodycon. Sorry, that was my watch. Yeah, I did get a new one. It's it's a rose gold G-Shock. I love it because I can run, swim, whatever with it, but it matches like my jewelry. Yeah, I thought it was really cute too. Let's see. 13.2 for the thigh measurement. That's correct. Alright, and then the last one they asked me for was just around the neck, because I think they're going to do that, like a disconnected neckline. So let's just go ahead and do that. Alright, looks arms, neckline, dress, waist, neck, neckline. Okay, I think they got that one. And then, okay. I'm just gonna need the wrist for the jewelry size. I think just keep your wrist there, that's fine. So that was your right wrist. Okay. And then give me your left. Okay, just a little bit smaller. Perfect. So I think we've got the measurements down. Is there anything else that you're worried about that you wanted me to measure today? Okay. Nope. Got it. So let me just put this here. Confirmed. Okay. I'll email them as soon as we're done here. Okay? All right. Next, we're going to do, actually, I'm going to keep this here because I need to make notes on your makeup. Before we get started on that, I'm going to put some of these intensive eye treatment pads on your under eyes. They need to sit for a few minutes, and we're going to do your makeup anyway. So while we're picking out your makeup style, I will put these on. As you're aware, they are clearly a little bit moist because they're iPads, so just bear with me here. I don't want to get them on your clothes or anything. They smell quite nice, so that's always a plus. Okay, I'm just going to peel these apart. Alright, I'm just going to place this one on your under eye. Okay, that's what they look like. Okay. And let me get the other one. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to let those sit. Tap those in. Just a little bit, tap those in. Okay. Perfect. Let those sit for a minute, and then I'm going to grab the magazines and we'll start going through your makeup options, okay? So I have your stuff for the event, the basic stuff written down already. But we had not picked your makeup styles yet. And your stylist was a little concerned just from the perspective of making sure the dress matched your makeup style. I know, I think they were being a little dramatic, but needless to say, I told them I would talk to you about it. And I thought today was a good time because we were just doing your other stuff anyway. So, let me just find some of the inspo here that I had pulled out and printed. Okay, so I know you don't like overdoing it with the makeup styles, but I actually specifically tried to find some stuff that was pretty chill and low-key for you. And I do have about 5 or 6 inspo photos here. And then I also have a magazine that we can go through. and I thought that that would be good. You do that, or do you want to do the magazine first? This one, okay. So here's the first one that I have. This look is called Oriana. You've probably seen this one before. We've talked about this one for other events, but we have not used it. So she has some pretty low-key makeup here, as you can see. And it's really just a softer color nude with the eyeliner. In addition to that, the Celine was a little bit bolder. This is the Celine model, and she has a darker eyeshadow, as you can see. Yeah, and I thought that this one might be good because of your darker hair. Right. I know those aren't really close-ups, so I tried to find a couple others as well, just to go off of. The first one is this one here. And this one's my favorite one, to be honest with you, just for you specifically. Yeah, and honestly, I'll tell you why. It's because she has some really bold features here in the corners of the eyes, but generally her eye tone is very light. And as you can see, her pupils are quite light, and like yours. Okay. And do you like the lip? A little bit? Okay. I can have some other options for the lips, so let's keep looking. So the next one I did was a little bit more shimmer in the eye. You can see here she has a similar style as the last model, but her eye has lashes that are a little bit deeper across, all the way across, and then she has some more shimmer on the tops here. You like this one? Okay, and what do you think about the lashes? And I love that they did a little bit of highlight at the top of the lip area. Okay, not bad. Okay, so that's a good starting point. Okay, so next I have this model. This model has kind of a Celine look where they did the eye makeup pretty dark. Not necessarily the shadow, but the liner and the lashes themselves. I liked that too, but I thought that this might be more bold than you typically like to go for your eyes. Yep. Okay. Okay, next, let's just move on here. Next, we have one that she has a lot of shimmer, like the one that you liked, right here on the eyes, but she also has a fuller full lash. So not only are the lashes themselves fuller, but they extend all the way across in that fullness, whereas the other model kind of had more fullness around these edges. Okay, you like the other model that didn't have so much. The lashes do get heavier, right? Especially in long events, lots of cameras, bright lights. Okay, and then finally, this is the last one I had to show you. This one was kind of a mix of the one that you liked with the Celine. They did a little bit more smoky eye on this one. What do you think? Okay, so you do want to do the nude with a little bit of smoky eye. Okay, I have a really good nude palette, a couple of them actually, so I think we can easily work with that. And then which one did you like the line or the lashes better with? I'm not sure. If you do a more subtle lash, you might not even need them. I can do mascara on your lashes with this one. Up to you. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, let me take a couple notes, and then I want to do a quick talk with you about your eyebrows. Okay, so we'll start with the Okay, for eye makeup, we're gonna do nudes. Smoky eye. Okay, I'm gonna do a dark smoky ombre. Okay, and then lashes. We're gonna do just mascara with accent lashes on outer corner. Okay, and then we're just gonna do general natural full glam. Does that sound okay? I know that's what you kind of like your go-to with it's a more natural tones, but full on glam. Okay. And then I gotta rate eyebrows here and we'll talk about those. Alright. So for the brow, I have a little chart for you. You know the chart I always like to show you for lines. Probably don't even need to see the chart anymore. I've showed you so many times. Alright, so here's the chart. Now, as you know what kind of brows you already have, but we can do a lot with the drawing and kind of the shaping and how we accent them with the liners and the gels, so we can really make it what you want it to be. So if you like one of these more, we can certainly go for one of these. Yeah. So for this look specifically, if you want to go similar to what you saw from the models, I would recommend doing probably something that starts a little bit like this with the way it's lined in from a natural perspective, but then the wider arches on the outside. That's what the other models were using, and I think that generally looks really good on you. I can use some pomades and gel, and we can just use that. Okay. Great. Alright, perfect. Now I'm just going to go ahead and get a couple other things here. I'm going to take a look at this catalog. I've got another one too. I'll grab it later if need be. And show you what I had in mind for a couple of your other makeup pieces here. Sorry, I'm just flipping here to show you. It's a giant book, so. Alright, there we go. Okay, so for the liner itself, I know you want to do kind of a cat eye winged liner, which I've got here. I know what kind of liner I like. Did you want to do something that was kind of blurred, like this? No blurred liner? Okay. Now for blushes, we can do some light pinks, something fun. Or we could do a more of a contoured bronzer, like this. Okay, so a little bit of an in-between between that and the brown. Let's see. Maybe like this a little bit more. And you can see it's lighter, but the lighting there. Okay. That sounds great. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so and then for the lip, what are you thinking? So I was thinking something like this, something nice and nude, but a little bit pink undertones. Mm-hmm. Personally, that's one of my favorite looks for you. I've seen you have that quite a few times, and every time the internet kind of raved about that. Really loved that for you. I don't think we should do dark with this outfit. You do have a really pretty widow's peak, so we can do something like this where we highlight that area. Okay. Alright, so I will write that down, and then we're just going to get started on your makeup. I think you're about ready, and I have a great idea of what you're going to do. So we're going to do lip, nude with pink undertone, highlight widow's peak. Is that what that's called? No, it's Cupid's bow. Widow's peak is here, so sorry about that. Cupid's bow. Alright. I think I've got what I need, and then you said you wanted like a contour highlight blush. Blush. Contour with highlight. Alright, girl, I think we're ready to go, so let's just get started with your makeup. Okay, before we do anything, I'm going to pull off these pads off your face. Okay, and then I'm going to just pull the other one off as well. Okay, put those to the side. Alright, let me get out my makeup. I want to let you know I did get a new sponge for you. These are kind of like, I don't know, old but new. They're kind of coming back around in the makeup industry. And I bought one because it's like super fluffy. And you know, I love blending out your makeup with like a really nice sponge. So I just thought that this was like perfect. Alright, so before we get started, because you know I'm going to be getting your makeup looking right, I'm going to get your face cleaned off. Okay, so I'm just going to start off with some sprays. Okay. Let's see if I get some on my hands. They were sticky from those iPads, were a little bit sticky. Okay. 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 Perfect. So I have two serums here that I can hit you with. Either one's fine. Have you been having any acne problems lately? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so let's go in with just a hyaluronic serum. That's okay with you. Alright, so I'm just going to hit this on your face a few times. I'm going to get under your eye. Alright, I'm just going to rub this into your skin. Okay. are going full glam, I'm going to get a nice moisturizer on top of that before we do the primer. So I'm going to do this Lancome Regenerate Lift Multi-Action Moisturizer. Okay. It's a very thick one. Okay, I'm just going to rub this into your face. It smells really good too. Okay, that felt good. Now I'm going to add a little bit under eye cream. This is the Eyelid Lift Serum. Sorry, I just had to get some on my finger. Okay, here we go. I'm just tapping this in. Okay. Okay. Let that dry a bit. Alright. So I almost got your face prepped. I do want to add a little bit of primer for you, if that's okay. And I don't think I have primer in this bag, so let me just get my other bag. I'm just going to use the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer, okay? Okay, yeah. Just tap out a little bit on my fingers. Okay, here we go. Okay. So now I'm going to do a little bit of concealer. This is probably the best one to go. Oh, here's another one. So I have a lot of different shades, obviously, because when you're different seasons, different shades, right? I have these 4, and I'd like to just kind of hold them up against your face. Actually, I have another one. I have 5 total, so I'm just gonna use. I think that this one is probably not. It's too light, so not that one. Okay, let me just hold these up. Okay. And feel free, listen, you just relax, close your eyes, whatever you want to do. Okay, this should be so relaxing for you. It's always relaxing for me when I get my makeup done. I'm just gonna swatch. I'm gonna swatch this one too. definitely the first one. Alright, so we're just gonna add this on just the blemished areas on your chin, and I think you have like 1 or 2 on your forehead. Under the eyes a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and blend these in with a nice little sponge. Okay. Okay. I'll switch to this one here. It's a little bit newer. I'm gonna get the chin a little bit. Okay. Now I'd like to go in with a little bit of I'm gonna go with a little contour. Let's see, I'm gonna do a little bit and then I can go back in with some powder contour if you want to later. I'm gonna use a Milk Makeup contouring stick for this. Just hit that bottom up button and it pushes up the makeup, and then I'm just gonna line. I'm gonna do above the forehead. Then down the nose. Okay. A little bit more here. And then I'm gonna do just on the chin, on the bottom. Okay. I'm gonna get my brushes out finally. You know I keep all my brushes in here. Do a nice little brush blending of this. Oops, with this one. Forehead. Okay, and then just lift up just a little for me on the bottom. Okay. Okay, blending that. Okay. Okay. Perfect. While we're here and I haven't done anything on the lids, I'm gonna do a lid primer so that we don't have any creasing. Sorry. Okay, here it is. This is the eye primer. A little bit on my finger. Okay. This is a lot thicker than I thought, so I am going to apply this just with my little brush here. Ready? That dry, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spray some some setting spray just so that the contour is set. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and start blending in with some powder contour. This is the Hoola Benefit. So I'm going to go in and overline those cheekbones again. This is because I want to make sure it's that pretty blend of it. And okay, so I'm just going to go in on the cheekbone tie. Alright, and then I'm going to get a little bit more. I love this stuff. It's really good, so. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit on the top of your forehead just to keep that theme going there. Okay. Just dusting. Okay. Then I'm gonna go in with a little puff since it's powder and just kind of regulate that out. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, so let me see. Now we're gonna do your foundation. Take a look in the mirror over there. Make sure we're just right on par with what you want this to look like, because if not, we're gonna walk it back. That's what this session is for. Check for my foundation I'm going to use, because I have a couple. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on your eye makeup, or not your eye makeup, I'm sorry, your foundation. Okay, so I have two CC creams, which I know is typically what you want to use for events because it's a full coverage. I also have this one, not this one. Okay, I thought you didn't like the coverage for that last time. So did you want to do the regular CC cream or did you want to do the illuminated one that has a little bit of the glitter? Completely up to you. Okay, you want to do the shimmer. Cool. Start out with that on my hand. I'm gonna go in first with the brush and blend this out. And then I'll go back with the sponge and remove any marks that we have from the brush strokes. But for coverage, this works way better with a brush. Basically, I'm just spreading this everywhere it needs to be, and then I'll go back in and blend out with the brush. Forehead. Now I'm going to just go in with the sponge and blend out any of those brush strokes. Okay, I'm going to get your nose with this end. Under eyes. Okay. Then, sorry, chin. Okay. That's good. For your brows, I'm going to go ahead and grab my brow kits. So as you're aware, this is always the kit I use on brows. So everything I need is in here. And I do have a couple of these I might stick on the outside. We'll see how your lashes come together. So first I'm just going to go ahead and brush your brows. Okay. I'm going to dermaplane just a little bit around where there's a little extra hair. Just going to spray first so it doesn't bother the skin. Okay. Yep. Okay. Blend that foundation back in a little bit. I think that's fine. Alright, I'm going to start with a brow pencil. Okay, just going to draw a little bit. Okay, hold on. Alright, now I'm going to draw those little lines that extend the brow a bit off the hair. Okay, and then I'm going to go back out onto the hair. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to do a tiny little bit of trimming in that section just because I'm concerned about the brow length there. Okay. And then I'm going to just go ahead and brush that out with a spoolie, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of gel. Okay. And then I have this gel. I go in with this on your, just to lock it up, keep the color good. Okay. Good? Alright, so look good. Move on. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adding a little bit of lashes to the outer corners of the brow. So as you know, I have these lashes, and they are just little accent lashes. And I'm going to add probably one of each to these on the outside. This is a cluster, so there's really about 3 on the tops there, as you can see. So I'm going to add one cluster on the outer part of each lash, and then we'll see if you like it. If you don't, then we'll just fix it. That's what this is for, to figure out what's gonna work and what isn't gonna work. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab this. And I hate these lashes because I hate any lashes because they're very hard to hold on to. These are sticky already, so we don't need to add any glue. I'm just gonna fluff them before I put them on you. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick these on. Are you ready? Okay, I'm gonna get another one. Okay, another eye. Are you ready? Okay, just do a little blink for me if you would. Okay. Alright, and take a look. Is that what you want? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add the eyeliner now, if that's okay with you. So I'm going to use this little one. It's got a sponge on the end, and it's my favorite one. Okay. Alright, so just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and draw this. Okay. All right. I'm going to go in with a brush, a small brush, and clean that up around the edges just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go in with this angled brush. Spray a little bit of makeup remover on there just so that it will just clean it up. Okay, ready? Okay. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna grab my, we're not gonna do mascara till the end. I'm gonna grab my palette, so we're gonna get started on that beautiful smoky eye. The Caramel Melange palette by Zoeva. This one is kind of like not as well known, obviously, as the Naked by Heat, but it's really pretty, one of my favorites. So I would recommend, if you choose this one, that we obviously go with one of these for the shimmer, and then one of these three for the actual dark smoky part that's not. If you wanted a dark shimmer, you could go with this one. All four of these here are shimmers, and then the rest of these are not, so you could do these and these for not shimmer. Okay. And then the final palette I have is by Morphe. This is a huge nude palette. It's supposed to have every brown, nude, whatever you'll ever need. And I have to admit, I think it does. But I will say some of these are not as pretty and bold as like the Naked ones. So let me just compare them for you. And you know I'm a huge fan of this palette here. So just take a look and you'll see that these are just much more rich in their tones, and these are more, in my opinion, a little bit more monotone tones. So if you wanted to do the Morphe, there's so many shimmers, you can see them. They're here, 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 here. And then you would just offset it with one that was not shimmered. Okay, so not this one. I'm going to be honest with you, I felt obligated to show you this one, but I was hoping you did not pick this one because I did not think that your makeup would be as pretty, because of, it's just the colors don't pop. So you're thinking about this one then? Okay, my opinion, because your dress has some very burnt kind of colors in it, I love the Scorched. I think we should do Scorched for your shimmer, and Cayenne, this one here, for your smoky non-shimmer. Let me swatch them for you together. Okay, and this one. Oh, these are so pretty together. Are you joking? These are the two. And you see, if I watch how I blend in the middle, right? Let's just do this. That's how your smoky eye is gonna look. Agreed. Okay. So let me just get that off of my arm. Put this aside and get my brushes. This chair is giant and it's comfy, but it's all right. So let's get started on that smoky eye. I'm so excited to see this. Let me find the right brush. All right, got it. I'm going to go in first with the not shimmer, the Cayenne. That's the one that's not shimmery. Pack this onto my brush. Tap for excess fallout. And I'm just gonna, right now I'm not blending, I'm just pressing. A little bit more of it. I don't want to do too much, but I'm experimenting a little bit here, which is what you're supposed to do so that we get this right. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Now I'm going to go in with the Scorched. And since we're going to blend them anyway, I'm going to just use the same brush. It helps to go ahead and get some of that blend in there. So I'm going to go in the inner corners now. Okay, I think that's enough. So now I'm going to just blend together, okay? Okay, this is looking so pretty. bit more of the shimmer because I wanted to put it in the middle. Blend them together really nicely. Okay. Now I'm just going to pat this out a little bit with a sponge because I want to make sure that it's just perfectly blended. This is how I like to do it at least. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and spray this with a bit of setting spray. Just on the eyes because I want to make sure that that dries absolutely perfectly. Alright, so while that's going on, we're going to go ahead and finish up with your blush and your lips. So this one has all my blushes. So you said you wanted a contour blush with a little bit of pink on the top. So what I was going to do is take these two and we're going to use them together. So I was going to go in with this side for the contour for you. And then I was going to take this other one, which is a pinkish color highlight on the top. And it's got some shimmer, or if that one was too shimmery, not enough pink, then I have this cream blush that I could go in with a little bit on the top. Much more pink, but it's buildable. I don't know if showing you on my hand is good at this point because I have some of the residue from the eye makeup there. If you didn't like that, let me show you another option. It's not that one. Whoops. I have another cream mauve colored blush. Swatch this one for you. And it just takes a tiny little bit of cream blush for that one. I also have a wine colored cream blush. Let me swatch that one. This one is more pink and it's right here. That one's a little bit more pink. Okay, we'll do that one. And you still want to do this Too Faced one, contour one on the bottom, correct? Alright, so those two together. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use this brush and we're going to go in with that contour. It's small enough that it'll focus it, but large enough that it'll be that nice blended look. Okay. Excuse me. honestly, I'm going to go in a little bit darker with that one. Okay, now I'm gonna get the blush, cream blush. Okay, and I'm just gonna dab this in a couple of spots on your cheeks. Just above the contour. Okay, and then I'm going to just blend this out with a bit of a little sponge. Okay. All right, perfect. That is gorgeous. Now I'm going to go in with the lip that you requested. You did want a darker lip, so lined only, correct? Okay, then let me grab this matching. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the lip liner. This is Kylie, oh I'm sorry, this is NYX with the Kylie Cosmetics shade Charm. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's for the liner. Now I'm going to go in with the Kylie Charm colored gloss. And this one is the matte. So, yeah. I'm sorry, velvet. Your favorite. Okay, ready? Okay. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for just a minute. While that dries, I'm going to take some highlights and do the Cupid's bow like we talked about. Okay. Just got its little one. I'm just going to dab just a little bit on, and then we're just going to write on the Cupid's bow. Okay, that's cute. And then the last step for the lips, I'm gonna add this strawberry pound cake gloss over top because I know you wanted the gloss just on the center, and then we'll just kind of spread it out a little bit, not too much. Okay. I'm just gonna use this tiny little brush to just kind of, yeah. All right. Now, last step is going to be the mascara. And I have quite a few different ones. You know this. But your favorite is this one. just use that one because it's the one that you are comfortable with, if you're okay with that. Yep, you're good with that? Okay, oh, I have this pencil still. Okay, so I've got this. Let's just go ahead and go in with that. Bottoms. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other eye. Okay. Okay, perfect. Take a look in the mirror, see if there's anything else you want me to do before I put your setting spray on. Okay, so I'm going to use this one on you. This is a Stay All Day Blue Light Micro Mist, and this one is really grippy and dewy, and I know you like that, so here we go. Ready? Just fanning you there. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.